The whole story of Ontario real estate feels like it's rewriting itself right now. For so long, all eyes were on the GTA.
Right, that was the epicenter.
Exactly. But now we're seeing these really significant shifts. Money, people, ambitions are moving towards these other dynamic cities.
And London, Ontario is definitely one of the big ones drawing attention.
It really is. So today, that's where we're headed. We're going to follow that shift right into London.
Yeah, and we've got a great case study to focus on, sort of a perfect snapshot of this trend. It's a property at 300 Crawford Street, West London.
Okay.
And we have some really solid market intelligence on this one, thanks to the team at Catch the Key Inc., associated with Remax West Realty. Specifically, Himani, Sood, and Sushil Mishra provided the background here.
Got it. So the goal for us in this deep dive is pretty straightforward, right? We want to quickly pull out what makes this property and this area tick.
Exactly. What's the real investment potential? What's the lifestyle actually like?
Because whether you're maybe a first-time buyer feeling squeezed out of the GTA or an investor looking for better value, or honestly, even if you're just curious where the growth in Ontario is heading, this example, 300 Crawford, and the data around it really seems to show why London is offering, well, pretty strong value right now.
It really does frame the opportunity well.
Okay, so let's unpack this specific listing. 300 Crawford Street. What are the basics?
All right, so it's a semi-detached home, pretty classic family setup. You've got 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths.
Standard layout.
Yeah, standard layout. On a decent lot, too, 28 by 105 feet, so you have some outdoor space.
Okay, and what jumps out from the details provided? Anything specific?
Well, 2 things seem really highlighted for their practicality, especially thinking about buyers moving from maybe smaller spaces. First, there's a finished basement.
Oh, that's huge. Instantly usable extra space.
Exactly. Home office, kids' playroom, gym, whatever you need.
Yeah.
It saves that immediate renovation headache and cost. And second, it has a private driveway and a fenced backyard.
Right, practical things families really need. Parking and a safe space for kids or pets.
Absolutely. And the analysis we have really emphasizes that this package, the finished basement, the yard, the moving condition, it represents exceptional value.
Especially in West London's market, they note.
Yes. For first-time buyers or young families, getting all that space, location, ready-to-go amenities in one property is a major win.
You compare that to trying to find something similar in, say, the 905 area around Toronto.
Oh, it's a completely different ballgame. You'd likely be looking at a much smaller place, probably needing work for potentially even more money. This offers a different entry point.
Okay, that sets the stage for the property itself. But the location, West London, that seems to be a big part of the story here. It has this reputation, right? Family friendly.
Very much so. And the sources really drill down on why. Proximity seems key. Like, green space, you're apparently just 5 minutes from Springbank Park.
Which is London's big one, right?
Yeah.
Trails, storybook gardens.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a major city asset. So, huge lifestyle points there. Then there's education. The property is zoned for the Thames Valley District School Board, which has top-rated schools.
And good schools always anchor demand, keep values stable.
Always. It's a consistent driver. Families prioritize that.
Makes sense. What about the day-to-day stuff? Shopping, doctors, getting around, that's often a concern when moving out of a big city core.
Yeah, but West London seems well-serviced. The info suggests you're within a 5 to 10-minute drive for most essentials. Groceries, shops, services. And importantly, healthcare access is good too. Quick routes to Victoria Hospital and St. Joseph's.
So you're not sacrificing convenience for the neighborhood feel.
It seems like a good balance. You get the established neighborhood vibe, but still have easy access to everything you need. That's a big draw.
Now, connecting this to the city's growth, you mentioned infrastructure investment earlier. The bus rapid transit, the BRT, that's a factor here.
It is, yeah. The BRT development is ongoing, expected to continue through about 2026. There are road upgrades happening alongside it too.
Okay, so that's a sign of investment, future improvement, but also maybe short-term pain, construction disruption.
That's the trade-off, isn't it? There's definitely going to be some temporary inconvenience, traffic, noise, the usual construction woes. It's unavoidable with major projects like this.
So if I'm that family moving from the GTA, looking for, a bit more peace and quiet, does that ongoing construction maybe cancel out some of the benefits?
That's a really fair question. And you have to weigh that personally.
Yeah.
But the analysis suggests the buyers targeting this area, they're thinking longer term.
Okay.
They see the construction less as a problem now and more as proof that the city is investing in the area's future connectivity and value.
So the idea is put up with some hassle now because once the BRT is done, transit will be better, access will improve, and that should boost property values down the road.
That seems to be the calculation, yes. Plus, even with the construction, the location itself is already pretty strategic for commuters. You've got good access to main roads like Oxford and Wonderland, and getting to the 401 or 402 isn't difficult.
Right, so it connects well within London and for getting out of the city, too.
Exactly. It balances neighborhood living with practical access.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift gears then, talk brass tacks. The market itself. We've got data here for September 2025. We've talked about the lifestyle, the amenities. Does it translate into strong market performance? Equity.
Based on this analysis, absolutely,
Yeah.
especially for these semi-detached homes in West London. The fundamentals look really solid.
What kind of numbers are we talking about? Price range?
The estimate puts the average price for this type of property between $550,000 and $650,000.
Okay, hold on. Let's just pause on that. 550K to 650K. For listeners maybe deep in the Toronto or Vancouver markets.
Right. It's a different world. That top end, $650K, might get you a small, older condo in downtown Toronto. Here we're talking 3 beds, finished basement, yard, in a desirable neighborhood.
That difference is pretty stark. It really highlights the value proposition. What about how fast things are selling?
Competitive. Very
Good.
competitive. The sources peg the typical days on market dom at just 15 to 25 days.
Wow. 15 to 25 days. That's quick. Things are not sitting around.
Not at all. It signals strong buyer interest. The overall description for West London is high buyer demand and strong value appreciation.
Okay, that speed, 15 to 25 days, that sounds like you need to be ready to move if you find something you like.
You definitely do. It implies a competitive environment, likely multiple offers on well-priced properties.
So why does West London seem to hold its value so well and move so fast, especially when we hear about volatility in other parts of the Ontario market sometimes?
Well, the analysis points to a few key factors, and they kind of feed into each other. First, it's the nature of these established neighborhoods.
Mature trees, bigger lots, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's a character and feel that you just don't get in brand new subdivisions. People value that stability. Second, as we mentioned, school quality.
Right, the consistent demand driver.
Yeah, good schools create a steady stream of dyers. But maybe the most critical factor right now, limited inventory.
Ah, supply and demand.
Simple as that. These are mature areas. There isn't a ton of land available to build new semis or detached homes. So when properties do come up, especially ones that are well-maintained, like 300 Crawford appears to be,
There's competition.
there's competition.
Yeah.
Low supply in desirable areas naturally supports prices and keeps the market moving quickly. It provides a buffer against some of the wider market swings you might see, where there's tons of new construction and inventory piling up.
So that combination, established feel, good schools, and fundamentally tight supply, creates a more stable investment picture.
That's what the data suggests, yes. Stability and relatively quick sales.
Which, of course, brings us to needing the right support if you're trying to buy in that kind of environment. Fast-moving, limited options. You need help navigating it. This leads back to Catch the Keying, Himani Sood and Sushil Mishra.
Right. Their role becomes pretty crucial in a market like this.
What specific kind of support do they offer that would help, say, that first-time buyer or maybe someone new to Canada trying to break into this West London market?
Well, beyond the standard buying and selling services, it seems they focus on providing really deep neighborhood knowledge and the kind of market analysis we've been talking about. That context is vital.
Knowing the nuances of each little pocket.
Exactly. But maybe even more tactically valuable in a low inventory market is their claim of providing access to exclusive listings before they hit MLS or the big public websites.
Ooh, okay. Pre-market or off-market access. In a 15-day market, that could be the difference maker.
It really could. Getting that early look might let you put in an offer before it becomes a bidding war. That's a significant advantage.
Definitely. What else?
They also highlight expert negotiation skills, pretty essential when multiple offers are likely.
Yeah.
But another layer seems to be specialized guidance for specific types of buyers.
Like you mentioned, first-time buyers or maybe new immigrants, we saw Himani Sood has written about supporting those groups specifically.
Yes, and that specialized support can be really important. Think about a new immigrant buyer, for example.
What kind of unique challenges might they face in London that require specific help?
It often comes down to things like financing, documentation, understanding the local process, Someone new to Canada might have solid income from abroad, but maybe not the established Canadian credit history that lenders typically want.
Right. Navigating the mortgage pre-approval process could be tricky.
Exactly. Or they might need help understanding property taxes, closing costs, the legal steps involved here. A team that specializes in that can smooth out those potential bumps.
Making sure all the paperwork is right, anticipating lender questions.
Precisely. Handling those complexities allows the buyer to actually focus on finding the right home and making a strong offer quickly, which, as we've seen, is crucial when things sell in 15-25 days.
So that targeted support turns what could be a really stressful, high-pressure process into something more manageable, more strategic.
Yeah, it's about giving buyers the tools and knowledge to compete effectively, turning that high demand from a potential barrier into just the market reality you're prepared for.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up for you, the listener. What we're seeing with 300 Crawford Street is really a compelling snapshot. It looks like a solid example of an accessible entry point, especially for families, into a really stable, mature West London market.
Yeah, you get the house, the neighborhood, the amenities.
And it's underpinned by decent city infrastructure, both what's there now and what's planned for the future with things like the BRT. It hits that sweet spot with relative affordability compared to the GTA, but in an area with strong signs of long-term value.
Definitely seems to balance those key elements.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on as you think about buying in an established area like West London or really any mature neighborhood.
Okay.
We know, based on the source materials, that the City of London requires permits for significant renovations or additions. Buyers need to verify this stuff.
Right. Due diligence on past work is important.
But thinking beyond just the purchase, how can you, as a homeowner, proactively use publicly available information, not just for the buying stage, but to maximize your investment after you move in?
Interesting. So leveraging city data long term.
Exactly. For instance, you could use the city's online property inquiry system. Checking past permits isn't just about safety or making sure things were done to code.
Although that's critical.
Absolutely critical. But knowing the permit history can also be really valuable down the line when you're getting insurance quotes. Insurers like documented, permitted work.
Good point. It could potentially impact your premiums or coverage.
And maybe digging even deeper. Places like the London Room at the library have historical records. Understanding the building's past life could inform how you plan future renovations.
Yeah, so you renovate strategically in a way that respects the home's history, perhaps, complies with regulations, and ultimately maximizes its equity potential within that established neighborhood context.
Precisely. The research, the smart work, doesn't stop when you get the keys. It continues, helping you build value over the long haul.
That's a great takeaway. The purchase is step one, but strategic ownership is ongoing.
Yeah. Exactly. So thank you for sharing these sources with us today. Hopefully this deep dive into West London using 300 Crawford as our guide give you some valuable insights to take forward.